Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, proudly brings to you
Don's Wrestling Unleashed Rage.
It's survey time. Are you here to see WCW? NWO! WWE?
You get control. Everybody say, oh yeah! Baby!
It's showtime, folks!
And welcome back to Don's Wrestling Unleashed Rage. You know, I was talking the other day with a few friends and colleagues and whatnot, and just we were really debating on a few things, and one thing came up. It really made me think, and that's what this episode is going to be about. Is the Dudley Boys, aka Team 3D, the 23-time tag champions? Is the Dudley Boys the greatest tag team in wrestling history? A lot of people are going to say yes. Quite a few people are going to say no. But let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros and cons. Think about it. I want to talk about every point of view and talk about why they could be the greatest of all time and why they're not the greatest of all time. Okay, so let's debate about it. Let's do it. So, the Dudley Boys started off as a tag team at ECW. At ECW, the average person would say, okay, well, who do the Dudley Boys beat other than Edge and Christian, other than the Hardy Boys? Who did they beat? Who? You couldn't name nobody else who they beat in ECW. You couldn't name anyone else they beat in TNA. So you know what I mean? So, I see every point of view, but it's like we really gotta look at it. So ECW, like I said, their beginning, 1996. They beat the Eliminators. And then they lost the title, and then they won it back in 97. And then they lost it again, and then they won it again. The Eliminators. I guess that was the only team in that whole company at the time. You know? And then they lost it again in 97. Think about it. All in the same time. Then the Dudley Boys lost it again, and then they won them again in 97. But they beat the Gangstas. Okay, that was a good tag team. For people who knew who they was, you looking back, EC Dub. You know? And then 1998, they lost it. They lost the tag belts, and then they won them again. But this is probably the best team they beat in ECW. Who the Dudley Boys beat? Who did they beat that could possibly be the best tag team in ECW to credit their ability, to credit them? Well, that'd be simple. 1998, Sabu and Rob Van Dam. The whole effing show. Mr. Monday Night. Mr. Money in the Bank. Oh. So, RVD and Sabu. The best tag team and whatnot. The Dudley Boys have to be defeated. I've been up a long time. Forgive me. So they dropped the tag titles, right? 1998. Again. And they lost the titles against Team Balls Mahoney. Oh, and the Japanese dude, I can't think of his name. I honestly can't think of his name. But the point is, I'm pretty sure it was the same guy who had that good feud with Mike Awesome at ECW. Ringing any bells? Oh! So, 1999, the final two dropping the titles and winning the titles again in ECW. Balls Mahoney once again. You know, you always think, man, Balls Mahoney and Axel would be a good tag team. You really would think, like, man, you know they had those great feuds, but man, that'd be a good tag team. And you know, they did tag for a few after ECW and live events. It would have been a great team and whatnot. But the final two teams of ECW, Balls Mahoney and a traitor of the family? The traitor of the family from the Dudley Boys? No, it wasn't Big Dick Dudley. People who remember him in ECW. It was Little Spike Dudley, that little backstabber. Oh, I couldn't believe it. And whatnot. So, that ends the reign of ECW. Before they jumped ship and went to WWF, WWE. So the question would come to mind. How would people react for the Dudley Boys jumping and whatnot? How would the fans react to the Dudley Boys? Are they just going to be a glorified, they're just a team from ECW and they just chant ECW, ECW, ECW. Yeah, it kind of was like that. And then Bubba Ray, before he became Bully Ray and whatnot. Do you know who I am? I am the... Oh, you gotta love it. And they did that for the first 6 or 10 months maybe when they were in WWF. But then they finally had their big break. They finally had their big break in WWF. Because they brought their signature tables and whatnot. And then they finally did something that meant something truly meaningful and all that no one will ever forget. Of the beginning of then and the beginning of time, the beginning of now, and 20 years from now, people will still talk about these type of matches. And people will still talk about what was then. The Dudley Boys with their table matches. Bringing those tables. The Hardy Boys. Matt and Jeff Hardy. With the ladders. And Edge and Christian. With the chairs. Ka-cha-chow! Oh my God! So, they had their vintage classic TLC matches. Mania, SummerSlam, even on a Monday night. They were so great and whatnot. But a team I forgot they beat. Their very first WWF Tag Team Champions. Of who they defeated? Well, shit. The greatest tag team possibly in the Attitude Era then. The Road Dogg Jesse James. The Badass Billy Gunn. The New Age Outlaws. And of course, if you're not done with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it. That's right. The New Age Outlaws was their first championship of who they defeated in WWF. So that really upped it. That really upped their credibility and whatnot. You would think so. And then Vince went crazier than what he did in the last 10 or so years, then not knowing what the fuck's going on. God, Triple H. We trust you. And Triple H, we trust. More people have been watching since you took over then. I'm just saying. Slowly but surely. So, the New Age Outlaws is who they defeated in 2000. Now, like I said, 2001. Vince was going crazy. He didn't know what the was going on, apparently. Their second and third time WWF Tag Team Champion wins against the same team. It was against the same team, and they dropped at the same time in 2001. As I said, it's Edge and Christian. Hey, Edge and Christian only had those tag titles like every so months or so, maybe a few weeks, and maybe less than 2 years then. But Edge and Christian was 7-time. 7-time WWF Tag Champions. But they dropped those titles to the Dudley Boys twice in 2001. So we move on. The Dudley Boys lost. And then they won them again. And I remember this team winning the tag titles of a certain injury then. Ring any bells? No? Yes? 2001? No? Injury that happened? No? Oh, okay. 2001. The Dudley Boys beat Team Canada. No. Not TNA's Team Canada. Team Canada. Chris Benoit. He that should not be named. Shh. And Y2J. Now that was they were a good tag team. Now the next team, after the Dudley Boys dropped them again, after they dropped them again and all that, and now they beat quite the third best tag team in the Attitude Era then. Quite possibly easily top 20 of the greatest tag teams of all time. Who? Who could it be? Think about it. Top 20. Who could it be? Between 1998 and 2000, 2001. Who was in 2001? quite possibly the greatest top 20 tag team of all time? Well, it was the Brothers of Destruction. Pretty good tag team, you know. My brother Kane! That's gotta be Kane! And The Undertaker. Rest in peace. The Brothers of Destruction. And then the Dudley Boys dropped him again. And for the last time in 2001, they won again. They won those times. Shockingly, the only time they would beat them, possibly, they beat the Hardy Boys. So 2001, last time the Dudley Boys beat the Hardy Boys. Now you got to remember then, the Dudley Boys had good heat, 1999, the 2001, but 2001, they loved the fans. We love the Dudley Boys. They really did love the Dudley Boys. So, but then shit happened, and then they broke them up in the draft. And then, oh, my brother testify! Then he tried to be singles and SmackDown and have a rookie gay belly button ring. Batista, Batista be with him. His Archer Boy Deacon or whatever it was. And it didn't work out. And then they reunited of, 2002 Survivor Series. Devon came and saved Bubba and helped him, and they couldn't believe it. And then, shortly after that, then they SmackDown traded him over there, and then the Dudley Boys were reunited and whatnot. So they had one good last run, legit run in 2003. And that was pretty much it. And then they was a bad heel run that was pointless and didn't do anything. And then they had a handicap type match against The Undertaker then. And then The Undertaker cemented Paul Bearer then. And remember that? I think that was at the Great American Bash or something. But the last time, the Dudley Boys, and I don't even acknowledge them coming back. And then the last good run thing was a few months, was the 2005, only because of the ECW, the resurrection ECW, One Night Stand, 2005, the very first ECW One Night Stand. Oh, the Dudley Boys. But before we get to that and all that, 2003, the last two title losses and wins and whatnot in WWF for them. It came on Monday Night Raw. They beat Lance Storm, if I could be serious for a minute, and William Regal. War Games! Gotta love it. And then the final team, they beat La Resistance. South Park, the movie, bigger, longer, and uncut. Long live La Resistance. Oh, sorry. South Park, my all-time favorite TV show, by the way. Go check out that stuff. Dawn at Random. You'll see lots of random stuff about me and whatnot. TV shows, movies, collections, Funko Pops, toys, mask, Funko Pops, like I said, video games, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 3, GameCube, PS2, PS3, Batman, movie collection, steelbook collection, Batman statues. I'm going to show all my wrestling stuff exclusively on Uncut. We will have uncut videos on Unleashed Rage of all my wrestling stuff, items and whatnot, stories that I got to share and experience I got to tell. But that's for another time. So, that's the end of the Dudley Boys after that ECW 2005 One Night Stand. And then they got released. You want to know why? Shh. They got released because of Bubba Ray being too fat. That's the reason why. That was why they got released and whatnot. And they knew Devon couldn't have a single. They just we'll take our chances, be a tag team. We'll make the most money being as a tag team instead of a single. Smart. So, TNA. They couldn't do the Dudley Boy gimmick thing or the name and whatnot. So, I personally like the name they chose. I like this name more than the Dudleys or the Dudley Boys. Team 3D. It makes sense. I think it popped. It sounded better then, but that's just me. An opinion. Pros and cons of what and what. These are all the pros and cons. Remember that. TNA. TNA. So, they become tag champions 2006. They beat LAX. Hernandez and Homicide. Conan was the manager. LAX was great, man. They were entertaining. And then that sexy Latino. Man, that female, I can't even remember her name, but like it matters. But seriously. Ugh. And then 2007, they didn't beat nobody. They were given the tag titles, the vacant titles, whatever. Then for whatever reason, you know, if I was management, why don't do a tag team tournament? Do a tournament. Do matches all month leading up to a pay-per-view, and then have the championship match at the pay-per-view. Oh no, we're just gonna give it to somebody. We're just gonna give to somebody. Why not? Yeah. No build up or nothing. That's cool. Okay. And then 2009, for their 20th tag title reign, after they dropped it again, they beat Beer Money! That was a good tag team for TNA. Now, I didn't mention this. In 2001, they technically won the WCW Tag Champions, but it was not the real East WCW. Not the good WCW. It was WWE's watered down. Everyone, we can't have no one good from WCW because they're just waiting it out, sitting it out because of the fat contracts just to sit out. I don't blame them. So, they beat the Hardy Boys for the WWE's WCW tag titles. And then the two other tag titles they won was not even TNA. Technically it was, but it wasn't. It was New Japan Pro Wrestling. They beat most violent players. I don't recall them. I don't know who they was. But this team I did know in TNA. British Invasion. That was a little group and all that. It lasted for about 5 months, give or take. So, 23-time tag champions. Okay. Those are all the pros. Those are all the yes. These are all the reasons. Defining table matches and whatnot. Then being... Now, These are all the yeses. These are all the whys. They are the greatest tag team of all time. Maybe? Yes? No? Why the Dudley Boys are the greatest tag team of all time and whatnot? 23-time tag champions. And it's funny. Before the Dudley... Oh, by the way, before the Dudley Boys, or at least Bubba came back, and at the Rumble 2015, I believe... 2016, I think it was when AJ came back. When AJ first debuted at the Rumble. Nope, you don't want none. DMX, rest in peace. WWE only recognized 9. They only recognized that they were only a 9-time tag champions. There are 8 WWE at the time title reigns, and they're 1 WCW. But it's funny, WWE owned ECW, so why not acknowledge that they was a 18-time tag champions? Which at the time they didn't, but now they do. They recognize them as an 18-time. Even though technically they're 23-time tag champions. So, but a Hall of Famer said, he said it best. How can the Dudley Boys be the greatest tag team of all time? The greatest word, tag team of all time. When 8 of their championships was only defended in Philadelphia. That's a good point. Now you can make a case for TNA, because TNA was good. 2002, 2005, they were damn good. TNA. Best 2005. TNA wasn't, the last good time was 2009, 2010. 2010 was the last time, possibly. I stopped watching TNA after Kurt Angle and after Sting left TNA. I stopped watching that. Like, it's bad. No. So, you can make the case ECWs doesn't count, or TNAs don't count, only count WWEs. Or you could be some of the few that count all 23. But let's be honest, that's like them saying Jeff Jarrett technically is the most heavyweight champion, because technically he has like 22, 21 world heavyweight titles, but Ric Flair is technically the most. I think Cena is tied with him with 16, which Cena will not beat. He even said he will not beat Ric Flair's all-time record. Then the only person I see ever beating that would be the legend killer Randy Orton. Then, unless they give it to Roman if he's here for the next, but he won't be here long enough. I don't think he'll go in the movies and whatnot. More power to him. But Roman is still the best thing in the last 2 years then for wrestling. Yeah, he's the best thing of the wrestling in the last 2 years. Him finally being a heel and Paul Heyman as his manager. That's some next level shit. That's why he's been the face of it all. That's why he's the only thing. That's why he's the, 700 days heavyweight champion. It was kind of stupid for them to combine the heavyweight titles, but, they'll fix that soon enough, give or take. So, Dudley Boys, 23-time tag champions, the greatest tag team of all time. I could see y'all make a case. I really could. And I could even really make y'all see a case of counting ECWs even. But I can't. I only count the 9. You can't. But the biggest thing that discredits them more than anything, both of them have said, how the hell are you going to call yourself the greatest tag team of all time? Now, this is one thing, you being in a promo and all that. I'm the greatest! We're the greatest tag team of all time! There's nobody who can defeat... I get that. But when you're already retired and whatnot, tag team wise, and calling yourself the greatest tag team of all time... No. That's like LeBron James saying, I'm the greatest... I knew I was the greatest basketball player of all time. Stop it. Stop it. You want to know why people say MJ is the greatest of all time? Because he always said, like, don't compare me to the people of the past. Don't compare me of now. Don't compare me to the people in the future then. I just want to do my time. I don't want to be the next whoever then. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be all that I can be. Do my time, and whatever happens of the ranks, more power to you. Now that's respect. And the fact that other legends of his own NBA, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe, rest in peace, Dr. J, Jerry West, the list goes on saying that MJ, Allen Iverson, all of them saying, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, all of them saying that MJ is the greatest of all time. That's respect. No other tag team legends, no legend tag teams say, Dudley Boys are the greatest team ever then. Tag team. They are the greatest tag team, hands down. If so, prove me wrong. Let's talk about it. Put it in the comments. You show me a link. Say, where'd you learn this? Let's do it. Prove to me that some of the legend tag teams said that the Dudley Boys is the greatest team ever then. Come on. If you're a Dudley Boys fan, hey, great tag team, top 20. Go down top 20 tag team all time. For most people. So, 23 times tag champions. Technically. 9-time officially to the eyes. Probably a good 65-70% of the fans out there, they will acknowledge them probably 9-time. Maybe some of them, a good 25% would count the ECWs, and a good less than 10% would maybe count TNA, all combined. 23-time. But if you're the Nature Boys, or you would be Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig telling Ric Flair, well, you did lose those 13 times. Well, you did lose 23 times. Woo! So how are you the greatest? Oh. Are the Dudley Boys the greatest tag team of all time? No. Are they one of the best who ever did it? Maybe. Are they one of the most entertaining? Yeah. They're up there. Most fun, watch. Get the table! What's up? What's up? 3D! Come on. They did themselves better than just a glorified EC dub, or table type thing. I'll give them credit. Top 5 team of their generation. When they was in WWF, the Attitude Era then. They were right there with the Brothers of Destructions, the Acolytes, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian. And you can't say those names without the Dudley Boys. So I leave all of you on this debate on if they're the greatest tag team of all time, if they're not. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Because that's what it's all about. Talking about what we love is wrestling. So like, comment, subscribe, like it matters. And just remember then, everybody, it's wrestling. It's a beautiful thing. Wouldn't you say? Until next time, get the table!